Hey, hey. All right. Whew. Sorry I'm late. Yes, I am late. Late. Yes, I'm late. I do apologize. Had some stuff I had to work out. It's like, what's going on? It's not working. But I got it going. Hey, thank you so much for joining me. All right, since I'm late, I'm not going to even do the whole spiel. I'm just going to get right into it. So y'all know who Ben Bergquam is, my buddy Ben Bergquam. I'm so jealous. My buddy Ben Bergquam, he got to confront the infamous Psaki. Psaki to you, Psaki to me. And he was a complete gentleman. He wasn't mean. He didn't yell at her. He didn't, say anything nasty to her. She didn't want to answer any questions, of course, naturally. She should be able to answer questions, right? Or do like she normally did in the past, just lie. But look what my buddy Ben Bergquam did. And I'm just all get out jealous that he got to ask her some, confront her. And I wasn't there with him. So listen, just look at this real quick. It's a beauty.
Ms. Psaki?
Yeah.
Could I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Okay, I'm Ben with Real America's Voice News.
Right. I'm not going to do any interviews, but it's nice to meet you.
I'm just wondering, though, are you disappointed that they replaced you with, instead of circling back, somebody who openly lies about the border crisis that Joe Biden's created?
Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you, too. I'm just wondering. You've got Karine Jean-Pierre, who says the border's secure, but you know it's a lie. Joe Biden knows it's a lie. MSNBC knows it's a lie. Do you think they'll ever be held accountable?
and then she walks away, and he doesn't. You know what? I kind of wish. I actually sent him a message before I went live tonight. I said, dude, I wish you would have kept walking with her. You could have kept walking with her, because he wasn't being mean to her or anything. He should have been drilling her about all of the lies that she's been telling, right? Drilling her with everything. And as soon as he said, and you know what, he should have never said, I'm Ben Bergquam with Real America's Voice. As soon as he said that, then she automatically went. He should have just left that out until after the fact. I'm not saying keep it from her, just don't tell her up front. But I thought it was beautiful. I mean, I wanted more. It is such a tease. Okay, now let me get into something else here. Because I want to talk to you about how they're going after President Trump, but they're ignoring all of this other stuff. And I mentioned this last night, right? I mentioned it briefly last night, that how they're targeting President Trump and then they're drumming up all this other stuff. Isn't it the timing really convenient that all of a sudden they have, President Trump in New York, right? Lawsuit. Just all of a sudden, boom, out of nowhere. And of course, the liberal media, they disregard what's happening on the border. They disregard the crisis. They disregard everything else. And they only want to focus in on President Trump. Is this the way we can get him? And they're all like talking about it. Here, listen to this short clip here where she was on, and the only reason why I shared this one here, because she took this part from MSDNC and she put it on her Twitter. She put it on her Twitter. She shared it with everybody else. But listen to what she says here.
Donald Trump engaged in years of illegal conduct to inflate his net worth, to deceive banks and the people of the great state of New York. Claiming you have money that you do not have does not amount to the art of the deal.
You know what? My question is how does she know how much money he has in the bank, right? Isn't that like private information, how much a private citizen had in the bank during the time? And she's talking about when he was a private citizen. That's what she's trying to go after him for. When he was a private citizen, not anything that he's done wrong as president, but as a private citizen. This is what all this is about. They're trying to find, they're fishing. They're looking for something here, looking for something there. They want you to look at this, right? They want you to look at New York, but they don't want you to look at all of the other stuff that the Democrats have created, right? This is the timing of this is right before November is the reason why they're doing this is trying to get everyone to convince that President Trump is the problem. Why don't she just concentrate on helping the people in New York? Why don't she do that? But she can't do that because their whole goal, MSDNC, the Communist News Network, their goal, ABC, CBS, the whole Alphabet Network soup group, their whole thing with them is going after President Trump. Now, President Trump, he has a sit down with Sean Hannity, and they're talking about the raid, right? And President Trump, when he was in the White House, he could declassify anything. That's the way I understood it. When Obama was in the White House, he could declassify anything, and to my understanding, he did. Right? He just said, I want this to be declassified. Because when you're sitting in the White House, and you're the president, you can do that. And they're getting upset because that's exactly what President Trump did. He can declassify anything he wants. So he goes on here and listen what he says here. Now, who do you believe? Do you believe MSDNC and Communist News Network, or do you believe President Trump?
So let me ask you this question, because I think this is the next logical question, because the president of the United States, you, unlike, say, Hillary Clinton in her case, right, a president has the power to declassify.
Correct.
Okay. You had said on Truth Social a number of times you did declassify. I
did declassify, yes.
Okay. Is there a process? What was your process to declassify?
There doesn't have to be a process, as I understand it. You know, there's different people say different things, but as I understand, there doesn't have to be. If you're the president of the United States, you can declassify just by saying it's declassified.
Yeah, and over on MSDNC, especially MSDNC, because that's the whole network is about how they can go and attack President Trump. They're saying, well, there's no markings, there's nothing where he said it. What's his process? What was the process? He has to let us know what the process is. He's the president. He doesn't have to, right?
Even by thinking about it, because you're sending it to Mar-a-Lago or to wherever you're sending it, and there doesn't have to be a process. There can be a process, but there doesn't have to be. You're the president. You make that decision. So when you send it, it's declassified. I declassified everything. Now, I declassified things, and we were having a lot of problems with NARA. You know, NARA is a radical left group of people running that thing, and when you send documents over there, I would say there's a very good chance that a lot of those documents will never be seen again. There's also a lot of speculation because of what they did, the severity of the FBI coming and raiding Mar-a-Lago. Were they looking for the Hillary Clinton emails that were deleted, but they are around someplace? Were they looking for the spying on Trump's?
You're not saying you had it.
No, they may be saying, they may have thought that it was in there.
Okay.
And a lot of people said the only thing that would give the kind of severity that they showed by actually coming in and raiding with many, many people is the Hillary Clinton deal, the Russia stuff, or, I mean...
Listen, you hear do you hear what President Trump is saying? See, I said this. I said this very same thing. I said, because based on the information that was coming out, and I haven't had the conversation with President Trump about this. I really would like to. But I said that the FBI, the reason why I see the FBI raided President Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago is because they were looking for documents about that time, 2016, the fake dossier. Remember? The fake dossier. When they went to the FISA court and got all that information, and the FBI knew that it was fraudulent, and the FBI still went along with it. President Trump was in office. He could have access to any document at that point. They're looking for those documents. I'm telling you, did you hear what he just said? It confirms it for me that they were probably looking for that. I'm telling you, because they're like, well, where are these documents at that we knew about the fraudulent stuff? We knew that the dossier was fake. The FBI said, go get them. Go get them. That's what they're looking for. It's the people on the 7th floor know those documents are floating around. They just don't know. Listen to what he says. Listen.
The only thing that would give the kind of severity that they showed by actually coming in and raiding with many, many people is the Hillary Clinton deal, the Russia stuff, or, I mean, there are a number of things. The spying on Trump's campaign. So they spied on my campaign.
I told y'all. See, I picked up on it because of what they were doing, the way the FBI was acting, and the way they were coming after President Trump. I said, this is really bizarre. Never in the history of this nation have they done that, right? And Biden, he had to basically sign off on it because he had to sign off and say, well, you know, that he's going to remove executive privileges from President Trump, right? Because he's in the White House right now. So Joe Biden signs executive order removing executive privileges from President Trump, right? And he did this months ago before they actually did the raid. And then when they did the raid, they didn't do it on the same day. They got the subpoena to do so. They waited. They waited a couple of days. I'm telling you, this is corruption at the highest level. And the people in the FBI right now, they're trying to get other FBI agents to do the dirty work, to go in there. I told you this is exactly what it was for. And President Trump laid it out. Listen to this one, because they also, when they went in there, they took President Trump's passport. Y'all remember? They took security. They took actually documents between him and his attorney. They took that information as well. They've taken a lot of the information from President Trump. They even possibly have taken his will.
Part two of this question is this. They took your passport, they took your medical records, they took your tax records, and probably the scariest part to me, and this is why a broad warrant like this to me would be dangerous. We do have a Fourth Amendment. They also took, 500 pages of attorney-client privilege information? Have you gotten that back, by the way?
A lot. I don't know. I really don't know. They took a lot. I think they took my will. I found out yesterday. I said, where is it?
Am I in it?
I think they took my will. That could cause a lot of problems.
No.
That could cause a lot of problems if that gets published from people that won't be so happy, or maybe will be very happy.
Okay.
But no.
You know what? This is really, really, really something. It's really something that, and I called it. This is the first time I actually listened to that clip with him talking about the reason why they probably went into President Trump's home to get paperwork, right? That's the first time I listened to that. And President Trump basically confirmed it for me. That's exactly why they went in. Exactly. And there's so much corruption. And think about this. You have the FBI, and there's good men and women in the FBI, and I've said that multiple times, because there's actual whistleblowers coming out talking about the corruption that's happening within the FBI, talking about it. And then they're going after these whistleblowers for telling the truth, right? If there's corruption at that level, people, and within the federal government, if you're in the FBI, you're supposed to come out and tell the truth. Listen to this, because this video that I'm getting ready to show you right now, this is part of the reason why I'm kind of late. This is one of them. Okay, because I got this, I had to get this one, and I have to get another one that you need to see, because it's real important. And many of y'all probably know what I'm talking about when I get to it, but listen to this one with Tucker talking about the FBI and the whistleblowers.
January 6th, case files are maintained. The goal of this is to create the illusion, the false sense that there's a tidal wave of right-wing domestic terrorism all over the country. But it's a lie, because there isn't. Miranda Devine of the New York Post has identified this FBI whistleblower and spoken directly to him. She joins us tonight. Miranda, thanks so much for coming on. What did you learn?
Thanks, Tucker. Well, I learned that Stephen Friend, FBI special agent still serving, who was suspended on Monday,
He was suspended because he told the truth. I'm sorry, I had to stop it. I'm sorry. Okay, I hear you.
He's an American hero. He had the dream job. He's been with the FBI for 12 years. He's a SWAT team member, but he just could not live with his conscience after he was dragged off these very important child porn, child exploitation, human trafficking investigations that he was working on, and put on these really bogus January 6 cases that just serve to, back up the rhetoric that we're hearing from the White House, that domestic terrorism is the worst threat to America since the Civil War. And so he could see from on the ground how the FBI Washington field office was manipulating these cases to try and expand and pretend that the problem was bigger than it was. And he also didn't want to participate in SWAT raids on people who had just were being, accused of misdemeanors at worst, innocent American citizens. And, they were being told to investigate people who hadn't even gone to Washington, D.C. that day. In one case, a man had been at his son's funeral that day, yet he had FBI agents knocking on his door. People were being surveilled. This is just such an abuse of their civil rights. And Steve Friend stood up and said, I will not do this. He did everything the right way. He complained to his all his supervisors. He told them what FBI rules were being violated and what policies were not being followed and what constitutional rights of American citizens were being abused. And he was ignored. He was threatened. And he's now, this afternoon, filed a whistleblower complaint with the Inspector General, Michael Horowitz. And he's also been talking to Senator Chuck Grassley and some of the Republicans about his complaints. And he is there. You see his photograph online, 37-year-old man, father of 2 young children. It took a lot of courage to do this at great risk to himself and blowing up a career he loved.
It's baffling that he's the one being punished when he didn't do anything wrong. And I hope that there are many more whistleblowers like him. I've got to think a lot of FBI agents are very distressed. Yeah, well, good.
That's what I've been saying. I hope and I pray that many, many more other FBI agents see this taking place and stand up and do the right thing. Please, you've got to. See, there's members, if all the FBI agents, all the good men and women, the FBI agents stand up, say, you know what? We're going to fight against this. Start spilling the beans about the corruption. Start doing it. Just everybody start doing it. They won't have but a choice. People on the top floor, on the 7th floor, they'll start resigning. They'll start resigning if y'all stand up and y'all unite together, because y'all can actually fix the FBI. The people that are within the FBI, you can actually fix this. And I'm really hoping, and I've been saying it, and Tucker just called it out too, hoping that other FBI agents would do the same thing. He just called it out. Now, one of the things about what's happening in our country is how Joe Biden has basically put an open invitation out to all of the leftists to come attack those of us that put America first. Have y'all heard the story about this man, I think he's like 41, killing an 18-year-old young man because he was a Republican, right? Joe Biden, this is what they're saying. Joe Biden, basically what he said, he's put the invitation out there again to all of these leftists, all of these communists, all of these socialists to go and attack conservative Republicans, the ultra MAGA Republicans. And that's exactly what they're doing. Listen to this report. And you know what? I just noticed that people overseas, I just saw someone in Fiji watching. I saw someone in China watching. I can see the analytics. I see somebody in Guam, Philippines, Australia watching. They're watching to see what's happening here in the United States of America. And they're watching it from Will Johnson's broadcast. Imagine that. But listen to this. Listen to this.
One who opposes the Biden administration is an enemy of the country and likely a violent extremist. Well, a man in North Dakota just murdered a teenager, apparently believing the teenager was one of those extremists he'd heard about from Joe Biden. Fox's Trace Gallagher has this amazing story for us tonight. Hey, Trace.
Hey, Tucker, the evidence shows on Sunday 41-year-old Shannon Brandt was legally drunk when he got into his car and intentionally used his vehicle to strike 18-year-old Kayler Ellingson. He then fled the scene, leaving the 18-year-old to die. So what prompted the attack? Well, for now, all we have is the affidavit. That is a statement written up by a police officer on scene, which says that Brandt, quote, struck the pedestrian because the pedestrian was threatening him. Police say the alleged killer went on to say, quoting, that he hit the pedestrian and that the pedestrian was part of a Republican extremist group. The suspect was then charged with vehicular homicide and was in jail less than 48 hours before being freed on $50,000 bail. Now,
he was in jail for a short period of time for deliberately killing a young man because he thought he was a Republican, a MAGA Republican. Joe Biden and the Democrats have done this. They've done this. His blood is that young man's death is on their hands because they put it into. Now let me say this. You remember there was the guy that went to the baseball field where Republicans were, I think it was Republicans and Democrats at the time. And this guy, this Bernie bro, went up there and started shooting at Republicans. Remember? It's always the left. It's always the left that's bringing the violence, but they go around and they say that it's MAGA Republicans causing all of this violence throughout the country. And it's not. It's actually Joe Biden. He actually incited this violence against other Americans.
It goes without saying in this country, you cannot kill someone because they belong to a certain group. But in this case, there is zero evidence the 18-year-old victim belonged to any group, much less an extremist one. But there is a growing pattern that you no longer need evidence to paint certain people as threatening. What?
You know what it is? You know what it is? Because he was a white male. He was a good-looking kid, too. He was a handsome young man. Handsome young man. And because he saw a young man, white male, he just automatically, that must be one of them. Have no idea. Must be one of them. This is because of the Democrats. They're labeling MAGA Republicans as domestic terrorists, and they're taking it upon themselves to go out and get people.
Too much of what's happening in our country today is not normal. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
And you may recall the president did not exactly support that statement with ample evidence.
Nothing, no facts. Again, they just spew that nonsense out there. They spew the lies out there, and then they expect everyone just to go along, don't even question it. And then if you question it, if you question any of it, then something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with you if you question it, right? That's exactly the angle. For those of you that have never seen me, I am a MAGA Republican. The Republican Party has changed to the MAGA Republican Party. It really has. It really has. And they don't like it. And there's nothing wrong with wanting America to make America great again. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. This is my country. This is the country that I live in, right? This is the country that I was born in. And I want to keep it great. But what's happening right now with the Biden administration and the Democrats, their agenda is to go along with this globalist agenda to destroy the economy of the United States of America and to usher in a new rule, a world order. That's what their goal is. Everyone sees it. Everyone sees it. Let me share something else with you. Rashida Tlaib. This, I'm pretty sure y'all have seen this already, right? But for those of you that haven't seen this, she's zoomed in to a hearing with bankers at this hearing, and she's asking the bankers, basically, will you shut down any interaction, bank actions, or any bank accounts that you have with companies that produce oil for the United States of America? So this is their angle. Because the oil companies are still producing oil, they want the bankers to shut down their bank accounts. Listen to what Rashida Tlaib says. And then I want y'all to pay attention, really pay attention to the answer of the banker.
You have all committed, as you all know, to transition the emissions from lending and investment activities to align with pathways to net zero in 2050. Do you know what the International Energy Agency has said is required to meet our global 2050 net zero targets of limiting global temperature rise to 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit or 1.5 degrees Celsius? So no new fossil fuel production starting today. That's like zero. So I would like to ask all of you and go down the list, because again, you all have agreed to doing this. Please answer with a simple yes or no. Does your bank have a policy against funding new oil and gas products? Mr. Diamond.
Now, she wants all of them to go down and answer the question. But after she gets the response from the first one, she kind of shuts it down, right? She doesn't want to hear the response from the other ones. Listen.
Absolutely not. And that would be the road to hell for America.
Absolutely not, because that would be the road to hell for America. How do you think she responded to that? I'm like, wow. Wow. And I'm not even really fond of big bankers, right? I'm really not. To be honest with you, I'm really not, right? But hey, they're just businessmen. They're doing their job. That's their job. I'm not going to hold it against them, but thank you, Mr. Banker, for saying that. Saying no, it would destroy America, right? They want to be successful. They're in banking. They're bankers. They want to be successful, right? Listen to this now. Listen now. I want y'all to really hit the share button. If you're listening to this on the podcast, if you listen to wherever you're watching this, hit the share button right now. Please hit the share button. And if you're on YouTube, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. And listen to this, because that helps out the algorithms. Listen to this.
Absolutely not, and that would be the road to hell for America.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Sir, you know what? Everybody that got relief from student loans has a bank account with your bank.
Are you hearing this? Now she's bringing up student loans, people who have student loans with their banks. And listen what she want people with student loans that have money in the bank. And I'm sitting there thinking, does she realize what she's saying? Right? If they have student loans and they have money in the bank, how come they couldn't pay their student loans in the first place? Somebody please answer that for me. Listen to her.
Relief from student loans has a bank account with your bank should probably take out their account and close their account. The fact that you're not even there to help relieve many of the folks that are in debt, extreme debt because of student loan debt, and you're out there criticizing it.
What? So she want people with student loans, like I just mentioned, to take their money out the bank. How come they haven't been paying their student loans if they have money in the bank? I thought that was the whole point of us, me having to pay for someone else's student loan, right? No one paid for my student loan. Thank God I've been able to pay it off because I did the right thing. I did what was expected of me, right? I did what was expected of me. How come they can't do it? And they're taking away actual responsibilities from these men and women, these young men and women, learning experiences, because those of you that have had loans, student loans, whatever kind of loan in the past, and you paid it off, that was a learning experience. Even when you went through hard times and then you made up for it, because I've gone through hard times. I'm still going through hard times. And I've gone through even worse times than now. I mean, I've gone through a whole bunch. I'm not going to give you a whole laundry list. This is a sob story. I never really talk about myself like that. But everybody's gone through stuff. We've all gone through something, right? And then a lot of us, hey, we do the right thing. We keep pushing through, and then we pay our bills off because it's a learning experience. You become a better citizen by doing the right thing. You go through struggles. I didn't have the government say, oh, you don't have to go through the struggle. We'll bail you out. Don't worry about it. These leftists don't have any brain cells left. They don't. They really don't. And that's the reason why you have these other countries controlling China Joe. And I call him China Joe, and I see people from China watching right now. I can see the analytics, people watching from China, right? And I see people watching from Philippines and Mexico. Right now, because the analytics showing it to me. I'm just happening to find it interesting. But anyways, for the people that's watching outside the country, let me show you how stupid the Democrats are in the United States of America. And if y'all want them, maybe we can work something out to where we can, like a GoFundMe, and help them, get a one-way ticket to your country if you like them. I'm just putting it out there. Maybe you don't want them. We don't want them either. But listen to Stacey Abrams. Have y'all heard what Stacey Abrams said here about the child in the womb? You can't make this stuff up. Listen to this.
There is no such thing as a heartbeat at 6 weeks. It is a manufactured sound designed to convince people that men have the right to take control of a woman's body away from her.
Okay, I know there's a lot of echo in there, so I'm gonna tell you the main thing she said in there is that their heartbeat is a manufactured sound, and they manufactured this sound so that men can control women's bodies. Now, I'm really confused. Maybe a woman out there can explain it, a real woman, okay? A biological, real woman, what the science says, okay? Can you explain to me how a sound by a man manufacturing a heartbeat in the womb, how does that control women? Someone please explain that to me. But she have the nerve, the audacity to sit there and say that it's a manufactured sound. Maybe because it has that sound like, because it's a machine. Oh, that's a manufactured sound. That's not the heartbeat. That's not the heartbeat. She's literally saying that it's not real. She's literally saying that the heartbeat is not real. That is not real. This is how disgusting these Democrats are. This is how disgusting they are. They don't care about reality, and she's making this up. And I'm willing to bet that there's going to be other communist Democrats out there who are going to say, that's not even real heartbeat. That's not even a heartbeat. That's manufactured sound. I'm telling you, this is how they do. Because see, and the reason why they do this, because there's this demonic spirit that's going around the planet and touching as many people as possible that will have that will allow that demonic spirit to come into them. And Stacey Abrams, along with Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, Jerry Nadler, Adam Schiff, Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, all of them, they have this demonic spirit that has affected them, and they allow this demonic spirit to fester and to do certain things and to have them say certain things, right? Nancy Pelosi, they have this demonic spirit in them. And that's the reason why they say this stupid stuff like AOC and the rest of them, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar. They say this stupid stuff because that demonic spirit has taken over them, and they have no clue what they're saying is even wrong. They look at it as something positive. But then when they hear something that's truthful, like what President Trump was saying about, what's happening in Germany. And Germany, people, listen, they're saying it's so bad in Germany right now. And the mainstream media here is not even promoting it. So if there's anybody in Germany right now, I feel for you. I feel for you because they're literally saying that Germany is headed for the dark ages this winter. And it's already getting cold there. I used to live there when I was younger. It's already getting cold. So they're saying that they're going to hit the dark ages in Germany. And President Trump told them the truth about this, and they did not want to hear it. Now this is an old clip, and they didn't want to hear it, but I'm willing to bet if you are in Germany, can you share this with your German officials right now so you can remind them that President Trump told you. President Trump told you, and you looked the other way. And now look at your country. Now look what's happening. You're in the dirt.
Well, I have to say, I think it's very sad when Germany makes a massive oil and gas deal with Russia, where you're supposed to be guarding against Russia, and Germany goes out and pays billions and billions of dollars a year to Russia. So we're protecting Germany, we're protecting France, we're protecting all of these countries. And then numerous of the countries go out and make a pipeline deal with Russia where they're paying billions of dollars into the coffers of Russia. So we're supposed to protect you against Russia, but they're paying billions of dollars to Russia, and I think that's very inappropriate. And the former chancellor of Germany is the head of the pipeline company that's supplying the gas. Ultimately, Germany will have almost 70% of their country controlled by Russia with natural gas. So you tell me, is that appropriate? I mean, I've been complaining about this from the time I got in. It should have never been allowed to have happened.
You hear this? Do y'all remember this? Man, every time I hear this, I'm like, President Trump was spot on. He straight up told them, and they just blew him off. Like, well, we don't want to hear this. We don't want to hear this. And it was true. It's just like today. They don't want to hear anything that President Trump has to say because it was true.
But Germany is totally controlled by Russia because they were getting from 60 to 70% of their energy from Russia and a new pipeline. And you tell me if that's appropriate, because I think it's not. And I think it's a very bad thing for NATO, and I don't think it should have happened. And I think we have to talk to Germany about it. On top of that, Germany is just paying a little bit over 1%. Whereas the United States, in actual numbers, is paying 4.2% of a much larger GDP. So I think that's inappropriate also. You know, we're protecting Germany, we're protecting France, we're protecting everybody. and yet we're paying a lot of money to protect. Now, this has been going on for decades. This has been brought up by other presidents, but other presidents never did anything about it because I don't think they understood it or they just didn't want to get involved. But I have to bring it up because I think it's very unfair to our country. It's very unfair to our taxpayers. And I think that these countries have to step it up, not over a 10-year period. They have to step it up immediately. Germany is a rich country. They talk about they're going to increase it a tiny bit by 2030. Well, they could increase it immediately tomorrow and have no problem. I don't think it's fair to the United States. So we're going to have to do something because we're not going to put up with it. We can't put up with it, and it's inappropriate. So we have to talk about the billions and billions of dollars that's being paid to the country that we're supposed to be protecting you against. You know, everybody's talking about it all over the world. They'll say, well, wait a minute, we're supposed to be protecting you from Russia, but why are you paying billions of dollars to Russia for energy? Why are countries in NATO, namely Germany, having a large percentage of their energy needs paid, you know, to Russia and taken care of by Russia? Now, if you look at it, Germany is a captive of Russia because they supply. They got rid of their coal plants. They got rid of their nuclear. They're getting so much of the oil and gas from Russia.
And you know what? That's the exact same thing that the Democrats are wanting to do here in the United States of America. They're wanting to cripple our nation. It's the exact same thing. To me, the way I see it, the WEF, they already had their tentacles in Europe, and the exact same thing, collapsing that country, right? That nation is the exact same thing that they're wanting to do to us here in America. But we have an opportunity to push it out.
I think it's something that NATO has to look at. I think it's very inappropriate. You and I agree that it's inappropriate. I don't know what you can do about it now, but it certainly doesn't seem to make sense that they pay billions of dollars to Russia, and now we have to defend them against Russia.
You know, NATO is an alliance of 29 nations, and there are sometimes differences and different views and also some disagreements. And the gas pipeline from Russia to Germany is one issue where allies disagree. But the strength of NATO is that despite these differences, we have always been able to unite around our core task to protect and defend each other because we understand that we are stronger together than apart. I think that 2 world wars and the Cold War taught us that we are stronger together than apart.
But how can you be together when a country is getting its energy from the person you want protection against or from the group that you want protection?
Because we understand that when we stand together, also when dealing with Russia, we are stronger. I think what we have seen is that...
No, you're just making Russia richer. Well, you're not dealing with Russia, you're making Russia richer.
And you know what? They always kept saying that President Trump and Putin had this, you know, this romance, this love connection. And President Trump is sitting there saying, hey, you need to stop doing what you're doing because you're making Russia richer. Why are you doing this? You want us to protect you from Russia. So where was the love connection at? Someone please explain it to me. See, you know what it is? You get the stupid people on the left. They hear stuff about Putin and President Trump, and they don't actually hear the facts or the truth. They only go with the stuff that they're being told.
Well, I think that even during the Cold War, NATO allies were trading with Russia. Then there have been disagreements about what kind of trade arrangements we should go into.
I think trade is wonderful. I think energy is a whole different story. I think energy is a much different story than normal trade. And you have a country like Poland that won't accept the gas. You take a look at some of the countries, they won't accept it because they don't want to be captive to Russia. But Germany, as far as I'm concerned, is captive to Russia because it's getting so much of its energy from Russia.
Yep, 100%. They're getting so much. And you know what? Look at it now. Look at it now. And they're talking about we're putting sanctions on Russia, right? When they were getting everything from Russia, right? And it's all it's doing is hurting them. In Germany, they're cutting, I mentioned this a couple of times, that people, because of the energy crisis there, people have gone out and started cutting the trees down around their homes so they can have heat as of right now. So what does it look like come December and January and February? Because it's going to be cold in Germany. It's going to be cold. Even November is going to be cold. October, right? It's already getting cold. And they're cutting down trees. Can you imagine that? Because they don't want them to have natural gas, heating their homes up. Oh my goodness, you can't have that. Can't have that. But they do have a solution to the Democrats. You know what the solution is? Throw money at it. Let's just spend more money and then we'll save the planet, right? According to this nut job.
And we save the planet. We're saving the planet with record $360 billion to save the planet and generating jobs and cleaner air and cleaner water and jobs and security for our country.
She literally said that. Security for our country. Can someone ask her about, people going to Martha's Vineyard? I mean, can someone ask her about that? Can someone ask about the illegal immigrants showing up at Kamala Harris's home? Can we get her to make an opinion, give voice her opinion about the southern border? Because she's talking about $300 billion is going to save the world. Really? Really? I mean, who's the money that they want? They put it to woke programs. They put it to woke programs that don't make a difference, that doesn't help the country, doesn't help the world. They send it to woke programs. Okay, so let me play something. This is a really good one here. If you haven't already, please share. Hit the share button on this. This one. Now, I've never seen this young man before. I've never seen this young man. This young man is out of Florida, and he is a Republican. For those of y'all that can see, he is a Republican. Now, when I first listened to this, I'm like, what is he talking about? Because I didn't know who he was. I had to go look him up, and I'm like, oh wow. Now, what you're about to hear makes complete sense. He's spot on what he's saying, and I like it. And of course, the left, they can't stand it. They can't stand anything he's saying because he's talking about rational thinking stuff. Listen to this. You can't make it up.
On the pathway of providing dollars to people, and they don't have to exchange labor, which is the way our economy functions, for money to pay for their goods and services, do you think that leads to a labor shortage, yes or no?
And it's a really simple question, right? Because the government is giving out all this money, just shoveling out money for no labor, for nothing, just shoveling out money. Right? What does that do? And that's basically all he's asking, the way I understand it. Listen to her response.
Like I said, I believe we're experiencing a shortage of good jobs, not a shortage of labor. And I think it's really critical not to blame working people for
I'm not blaming.
And let me stop it one more time, because last night I did a video, and early this morning I put one out where talking about the jobs in America. And did you hear what she just said? You hear what she just said? And I've had multiple people send me messages saying that the jobs aren't going anywhere. The jobs are fine. Biden's in control. There's no job shortage. Businesses aren't closing. People were sending me messages even though they're looking and they can verify it. Listen to what she said. Listen to what she says here. Listen, and I'll try not to stop it again because this is really good. Listen to what she says right here, right off the bat. And because she tries to flip it, right, and try to say that he's trying to blame workers.
Like I said, I believe we're experiencing a shortage of good jobs, not a shortage of labor. And I think it's really critical not to blame working people.
I'm not blaming working people. What I would say is I'm blaming government policy. Because if you're given money without having to exchange it with labor, having to take your talents and abilities, and you're getting money as a result, it depends on the industriousness of the individual at that point. I'm not blaming anybody. If you're giving out free money, shoot, okay, cool. Most people are just gonna go ahead and take it. We know this, but if you have a legitimate economic choice to make at your kitchen table, I can go work 40 hours or I can go work 20 hours and our living does not change. People have their own decision to make about what they're going to do. The point I'm making is that labor shortage, which was created by the quote-unquote American Rescue Plan, led to a labor shortage. And that labor shortage has led to price increases because you had people who had the revenue and the disposable cash flow to buy goods, but not enough goods in circulation to purchase. Mr. Goodspeed, is that an accurate assessment of what's happened in America since Joe Biden became president of the United States?
Yes, I think that's a fair description.
It's 100% fair description. Spot on. And let me tell y'all something real quick. Just a little bit more to this. I have to tell you this. I went to a fast food joint, and I don't really go to fast food joints here lately because I'm really trying to lose weight, for obvious reasons. I'm getting a little bit older in age here. But I go to this fast food joint and I go through the drive-thru and I pull up to the drive-thru and there's a vehicle in front of me and the vehicle's right there at the speaker right there, getting ready. I'm assuming they're ordering food, but then they just drive off. And I'm like, okay, they didn't stop by the window. So then I pull up. I said, maybe they didn't have what they wanted. Maybe I'll go. I pulled up through the drive-thru, the little speaker where you make your order. And they said, I'm sorry, but we are low on staff. We are closed. And it's happening multiple places, everybody. I've never in all the years, now I can understand if something happened in a store and you shut down, but when it starts happening multiple places, I'm sorry, we're short-staffed, we're closed. What is going on? America is crumbling. America is crumbling right before our eyes.
So, let's establish a couple things. Are prices up? Yes, they are. Electricity prices are up. Good prices are up. The only reason why gasoline prices are down is because the president's been basically buying down the price with releases from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, which, by the way, that's coming to an end as well. We are in a recession. I think we've covered a lot here. Look, I understand the majority party's desire to try to put this on corporate America for raising prices. But if you do not have enough workers working, there's not enough goods produced. If there's not enough goods produced, but everybody still has money to go buy goods, the price of each unit actually goes up. That's how inflation is always created. More policies of the same is only going to lead us further down the road to perdition, which we are already on. With that, I yield back.
I mean, wow. See, like I said, I had never seen him before, and I'm like, that was powerful. He's spot on. And of course, the Democrats, they don't like him. They don't like him at all. See, we are in a situation in this country where they're demonizing those of us that put America first. And I see that we got people from other nations watching in, right? And it's the Democrats here that's doing it. The Democrats here represent, in my eyes, as a black man in America, being black in America, the Democrats represent everything that is hateful in the world. Y'all may have they don't call them Democrats in your neck of the woods on your continent, right? But they're called something else. But what they do have in common, they're all leftists. Every last one of them. Every last one of them. They're all leftists. Every last one of them. And they all have this idea that they know what's best for all of us. We are free. God made all of us free on this planet, but they want to control us. They want to take over. They want to tell us what we can and what we can't do, how we should think, how we should not think, what we should believe, what we should not believe. They want to make up the truth, even though it's a lie, and try to force all of us to believe these lies. This is the world we live in. It's not just the United States of America. We're seeing a global takeover by this demonic spirit that these Democrats have given themselves to. These leftists, these globalists, every last one of them. And I'm sitting there thinking the whole idea that they literally have these communists in the United States of America coming out and attacking people like me. And I'm always saying, we need to be peaceful. Conservative Christians, the MAGA Republicans, they're peaceful people. 100%. 100%. These people on the left, they lie. There's no outrage. There's no, nationwide violence taking place because of MAGA Republicans, but it is when it comes to the leftists. Y'all seen these flash mobs? Let me show you this one. Let me show you this one with Senator Kennedy. I like Kennedy. I really like Kennedy. I would really like to have a conversation one day with Kennedy. But listen, I want you to listen to what he says, because he talks about the wokeness. See, he's so down to earth. He's so common sense that when he speaks, the left, they get completely confused and they be like, I have no idea what he's talking about. I just don't understand. I just don't understand. I just don't understand. I just don't understand.
You will never win. Never. The uber woke sweepstakes. I understand that the pressure to run that race is fierce. You will never win it. Nothing you do will ever be enough. The uber woke people in positions of power in this town think America was evil when it was founded, and it's even more evil today. You're not going to convince them otherwise. I believe that you're not free if you can't say what you think. I encourage you to do that.
You're not free if you can't say what you think, right? Freedom. The left, they want to take the freedom away, just the same way all the other evil people, the other dictators, the tyrants in the past, they want to take your freedom away. And let me say this for people that never heard me mention this. Every time I've gone to a Trump rally, pro-American rally, a Christian rally, and if Antifa and BLM shows up and people on my side that love America, love freedom, love God, have a sign. I remember, I never forget it. This one guy had a sign said, "Free speech for all." Literally said free speech for all, meaning them too. Antifa did everything they could to tear that sign up. And they don't even acknowledge Antifa. The left, they know Antifa exists because a lot of them are members. There's doctors, lawyers, judges, part of Antifa. That's the only reason why these people go against the U.S. Constitution. Politicians. And then they want to act like, well, Antifa is just an idea. Did you know Antifa, I don't know if they still have it, but Antifa had a soccer team in Portland? How do you organize a soccer team if you're Antifa, if you're just an idea? How do you do that? How do you do that? All right, let me say thank you to a couple people before we bounce out of here. And I do apologize again for coming on late. I had some stuff I had to work out. But, oh, wait a minute. What is this? What is this? Oh, wait a minute. What is this? Oh. Whoa. That is awesome. That is awesome. I dig that. Yes, I do. Ooh, wait. Okay, sorry. All right, let me say thank you to a couple of people here. Beverly, thank you so much for the stars, Beverly. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for the blessing. Michelle, thank you so much as well. Nancy, thank you. Wow, thank you. George, thank you for the stars. I really appreciate it. Ruby, thank you. Connie, thank you. Crystal, thank you for the stars as well. Chuck, thank you. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. All right, I think that is it. Thank you so much, everybody, for all the blessings. Thank you. Please, if nothing else, please hit the share button on this. Share this out. I really appreciate it. Share this out. All right, see you on the flip side. Reality check.